Every day we wake up is another opportunity to accomplish our goals, and time is of the essence. So we pray to the keeper of time, the creator. After all, you can't separate religion from life. We hit the road in a rush to render or receive good services. Good services is B. Also, the need to stay informed is very essential. You know, one vital information can change your life forever. In all this, you deserve the truth. You deserve all the juicy details. Facts is what you get from us. We bring reality to bear. Watch our live broadcast on www.detailnewsonline.com. Follow us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/detailtv. You can also follow us on Facebook on www.facebook.com/detailtelevision.
Detail TV. We are beyond television.
Issues so that both countries can work together, live together. I mean, we're talking about Africa as an economic bloc. So why do you start creating all this? No man is an island, and no country in Africa can survive alone. Even almighty, in quotes, Europe are struggling to get a strong economy, and that's why the EU is a bloc. In Africa, our union is an economic, political bloc, and little of economy. But in Europe, it's more of an economic bloc and less of political.
Away from them, Mr. Pauline Santa, you are. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome to Paper Review on Detail TV, where we bring you up to speed with happenings around the country. Also, we discuss and analyze issues as published on the weekly editions of Daily Detail newspaper. I am John Ntakem, your uncle, and today with me in the studio I have two gentlemen, one fantastic broadcaster, career broadcaster, Mr. Charles Bassi. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Bassi.
Thank you so
much.
much.
You look so sharp this morning.
Well, if you say so, I take it.
We also have the supervising editor of Daily Detail newspaper, Pauline Center. Thank you for joining us, editor.
Morning.
Now we go straight to the headlines. We have banner headlines: Senators attack ShopRite, MTN, other South African with the rider. They are benefiting from our resources but maltreating our citizens in their country. That is coming from an Akwa Ibom senator. We also have another headline: Akwa Ibom governor tackles flood, commissions another hospital. Mr. Bassi, you look at the issue of having companies from other countries operating in Nigeria like the MTN and the ShopRite. Well, back there in their country, in South Africa specifically, we assisted these persons as Nigerians even before their independence. We know the level to which Nigeria contributed to the independence of South Africa, which is good even before our country. The issue of xenophobic attacks, like coming from the senator in the National Assembly, has become a very recurring issue lately in our history. What do you think about this?
Yes, it's becoming very, very worrisome. The spate of Nigerians dying in South Africa as a result of deliberate, murder, killing, wanton killings of of Nigerians is becoming so worrisome. In the last year, over 170 Nigerians have been killed in South Africa. And these records are coming courtesy of the ambit of office of the Special Assistant to the Governor on Diaspora. This is the first time we're having a deliberate effort by the federal government to actually look at Nigerians' welfare outside the country through that office. Kudos to Abike Dabari. And this has been brought to the fore. The most recent being one woman, Mrs. Chubwek or something like that. She was killed, and that was the latest outcry. Now, this has become very necessary by the distinguished senator. Senators attack shop African companies. Somebody just reading that headline might misconstrue the whole thing. So why are you attacking? Diplomatic missiles across the globe to ensure that these colonialists or lose grip. Now, it happens that Nigerians are very industrious people, and particularly the Igbos, our brothers from the Igbo Southeast extraction. They are seen everywhere in the world. I mean, somebody said if you go to a country, you don't see Nigerians, the Igbos there, you're not safe. Because where they go, and now they go to South Africa, and in their very industrious nature, they went into enterprise. I have been in South Africa. I've lived in South Africa. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, I came back from Joburg. Now, there are a lot of Nigerians there that have even a Akwa Ibom community there, Delta community and all of that. When they go there, perhaps maybe as a car wash person, start washing. From there, they save some money, start the car wash on their own. Before you know it, they have 3 car washes. Before you know it, they now have a little supermarket. Before you know it, they become so industrious. And when they get successful, they bring their people down there. And everybody's going to South. You say, any woman, nah, actually, Naga South. You know, that kind of thing. So they're all over the place. And in contrast with the South Africans who are technically lazy. I don't want to use the word lazy as it was meted in our local parlance here, say lazy youth and all of that. But I want to say lazy in the sense that they're not entrepreneurship driven, such that they're lazy about, and it's so painful when you don't have economic power. Nigerian guys take the whole space, they live in the best houses, they take the best girls, so to speak, on a lighter note, and before you know it, these people become aggrieved. And these are people who are licking up their wounds after apartheid, you know, hoping that things will get better. So it creates that acrimony.
So these are some of the remote causes of this.
Exactly. Just come at the airport, and if you betray the fact that you're a Nigerian, you're prone to attack, very vulnerable. As a matter of fact, the man who killed Lucky Dube, we're told, he never even knew he was Lucky Dube. But when he was arrested, he said he thought he was a Nigerian. Okay? Because they know you're rich. They get angry, they stone you. So xenophobic attacks were targeted at Nigerians first and foremost before other Africans. So it's painful that even their own government is not doing anything about it. Rather, it's promoting it by keeping silent, unwittingly promoting it. And there's so many things we hear in their parliament being said. I go to YouTube and see these things. It doesn't seem these issues in the bird. It doesn't seem to say you're doing wrong. It's like what's happening in the Boko Haram in the north. No prominent northern leader or paramount ruler or traditional ruler or emir said anything against it until they started killing some emirs and all of that, and even the northerners, and bombing mosques before they started coming up with it. So that's why this attack becomes very necessary. So this attack, I don't know if it's calling for a reprisal, maybe sack MTN from here or sack ShopRite.
So you look at this. Is there no way you could recommend issues on how this could be solved? Because this has continued for several decades. Do we call Nigerians to return from South Africa? What do you think is
that won't be the best. I think it's a diplomatic solution. It behoves on the Nigerian High Commissioner to South Africa to be recalled by the presidency and appropriately briefed on this issue. And he also debriefs the presidency and the Nigerian nation on these issues, so that deliberations from the Senate, from stakeholders, the Nigerian community there, and the federal government will form a position which will send to the South African government. And we'll expect that also from the South African government through their High Commissioner in Nigeria. And once that is done, we'll have a diplomatic solution to these issues, so that both countries can work together, live together. I mean, we're talking about Africa as an economic bloc. So why do you start creating all this? No man is an island, and no country in Africa can survive alone. Even almighty, in quotes, Europe are struggling to get a strong economy, and that's why the EU is a bloc. In Africa, our union is an economic, political bloc, and little of economy. But in Europe, it's more of an economic bloc and less of political.
Away from them, Mr. Pauline Santa, you have a story where the Akwa Ibom governor is trying to tackle flooding in the state. The issue of flooding in Akwa Ibom, particularly in Uyo, the capital city, has become think about this as the citizens complain.
Well, I wouldn't really say disturbing. I would call it a crisis. It has become a crisis, terrible crisis. I that was until recently was enmeshed in perennial, flooding. Talk about what do you call that place? Two lanes, Tikado Avenue, by Akwa Ifam. I would live somewhere around there. I know how tropical axis. Exactly. I knew how it used to be. At night, if you wake up in the night and discover rain, you have your heart in your mouth and whatever. So the present government under Ndong Manuel actually did very, very well. I must commend him, because I was a victim of the flood. So this other story of moves to tackle
the flood.
Yeah, it's a welcome development. I would rather say they should channel all the effort to the IBB axis. So we understand that place is like
it's a low bed.
It's a low bed, sort of. So
the lowest
all
bed.
the water around would run down that way. And though we don't have enough statistics to discuss that now, but I would want to actually ask what last administration's efforts to tackle the flood through what they call
the pipe jacking system. I guess that's what you're trying to.
Yes,
I
on that, I understand the government is not talking about some remedial measures to tackle this. Are you aware of?
Yes, remedial measures is just to soothe. It's just like somebody who's hurt and you do some first aid, but after the first aid, you still have to look at the main, so that you don't just treat the symptoms. Look at the cause. Okay. Now, going for remedial measure, that IBB axis we're talking about, I think on 3 or 4 occasions in the life of the last 4 years of this, the last stanza of the administration, they've done some work there. You grade it, you beef it up, it still gets flooded. At some point, they had to deck it with cement, with so many layers of it, it still got flooded. Those were remedial measures that don't work. And of course, an environmental impact assessment was carried out, and that was discovered that in the entire topography of Uyo, that area is the lowest bed. So it has an assemblage of water from everywhere at that end. So even in the peak of the dry season, you'll have that place having puddles. Now, the issue is this. It's an ecological problem. And because it's a very serious ecological problem, which requires a very expensive approach in terms of funding, and that cannot be taken alone by the state government. You know what the slim resources are. Many people say Akwa Ibom is the richest state, but let me let you know, with the fall in oil prices, with the recession we faced at that first early stanza of the first station and all of that, as a country, it affected the revenue. So you don't take the whole chunk of revenue to go and solve a flood problem because the people are shouting. By the end of the day, civil servants won't be paid. There will be no other projects anywhere else. So I do know that there's an ecological fund which Nigeria gets from the World Bank, and other international agencies, which the federal government supervises there. That was the World Bank. Behind Anwar, that's the World Bank. And then the Calabar to Highway axis by the Tangiangs area. These are areas to be addressed because of flooding and erosion. So I think it should be addressed. So remedial measures may not really do much. It will only help to give a little soaker. And it's wasting of resources, you ask me. So I think that road should even be cut. As I speak with you, it's cordon. Nobody passes there again.
It is.
If you're coming from Secretariat and they go behind the information drive houses and cut out. And those who are coming from IBB axis, cut trace to Street, it's been cut. Let it be there until funds come and it's done once and for all. Okay, the money that should have been used there, they should carry and then pay leave grant to.
Still on that, we have a photograph of General Hospital in the Equator, Oron local government area of the state where the government was commissioned 2003 after remodeling the hospital. Moving away from that, we have another headline: 2 died, 3 injured in Akwa Ibom over love. With the rider, we will arrest suspects. Like the police, this is coming from the police. Mr. Charles Bassey, when love affairs and issues of emotions begin to lead people to take life and claim other people's life, this has become very disturbing recently in Nigeria also. What do you think of this?
That's one thing that makes me sleep in the social media sometimes, not to discuss politics sometimes. I look at it saying, there's one particular group called Rants. And yes, I read it a lot because I want to learn from people's diverse ideas. You see, the truth is that if a relationship is not right, walk away. I know there are many religious people, particularly Pentecostal faith, which I belong to, would not agree with this because divorce is not in the dictionary of Christian faith. But I do know there are some areas where infidelity and all of that can permit divorce. Please, if you're not in the right relationship and you face danger, walk away. A broken marriage is bad life, and if you die when you're not even born again, what are you going to do?
We have another headline: Igbos join forces with Ayade, that is the Cross River State Governor, on deep seaports. The issue of seaports, like the one we have in Akwa Ibom, Charles Bassey. What do you really make of
brother, hold your breath. You see, the issue is this: the container Nabia syndrome of the Igbo man in enterprise has gotten him up here as far as Lagos port is concerned. You see, the Android phones we use and cost about 3,000 over there. But before they come down here, stay in the ship for so long, after sweating through high dollar costs, sweating through demurrage at the wharf, you can't upload because there are so many delays. And federal government comes with funny things, 100% inspection, blah, 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 blah. And then you've uploaded, but you cannot drive out of the port. And the guy's demurrage is there. At some point, the Igbo guy says, I cannot pay this demurrage. Now take the thing back to Shanghai. It happens like that. So by the time that thing eventually comes, this phone that was 3,000 that the Igbo man would have added 1,000 as his gain and you would have had it for 4,000, they're getting it for 15,000. And it's not just food, I'm just giving you an example. In all other things that we import, in any case, we should even be importing. But sadly, we're an import economy. So it's telling on us. And you see the pictures of Lagos port every day. Now, why is Lagos port like a jinx when we have a natural harbor in the shoreline of the Gulf of Guinea, between Cross River and Akwa Ibom? Then you have Onne port, which has been left to rot
completely.
You have Calabar, which is not even active. See, what His Excellency the Governor is doing, I think I must commend the Governor. You see, we have a natural shoreline. We have even a deep sea area where ships can even come, bet, and then the big ships can bet, and then smaller ships can go and off transload.
Do you see the issue of delays in construction of seaports in Nigeria being affected by politics or
not being affected? It's politics.
It is politics.